Dear students, today's topic of my lecture, Units and Measurement, Chapter 2, Part 7. So you have to learn in Part 7, first combination of errors, then error of a sum, error of a difference, error of product, error of quotient or division, error of an exponent or raised to the power of a physical quantity, and then at last significant figures and its rule. So one by one I explain the combination of errors. So what happens when we perform an experimental involving the several measurements, and then we must know how the error in all measurements combines. Means when we perform an experiment and after that we take some readings and then we perform some calculations, and in these calculations we perform arithmetic calculations, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, raised to the power. So in that some errors takes place due to the combination. So these errors are called the combination of errors. For example, we take density is the ratio of the mass to the volume of the substance. If there are errors in the measurement of mass and of sizes of dimensions, then there will be error in the density of the substance. Means when we measure the mass, then error in the mass is there, and similarly when we measure the volume, then the error in the sizes or dimensions takes place. So error in volume comes, and the density is the mass to the volume. So that's why the error in density also comes. So when we perform the arithmetic operations, then the error comes, and these errors are known as the combination of errors, and these errors are further classified just like the error in sum, error in difference, error in division, error in product, error in raised to the power. So one by one I explain and you understand it. First one is error of a sum. For that purpose, we consider the two physical quantities, say A and B, have measured values A plus minus delta A, B plus minus delta B, respectively, where delta A and delta B are their absolute errors. So, when we perform the addition, then we say that the result Z equal to A plus B. Now we write it in the form of measured value, that is Z plus minus delta Z equal to A plus minus delta A plus B plus minus delta B. Plus minus delta Z is the error in the result when we are adding the two physical quantities and by putting their measured values. So we open this bracket of the right hand side, then what we will get? We get Z plus minus delta Z equal to within bracket A plus B plus minus delta A plus delta B. But this A plus B is equal to Z. So substitute the value of A plus B. Then the expression becomes Z plus minus delta Z equal to Z plus minus within bracket delta A plus delta B. Now This z you bring here onto the right side. So z minus z, that becomes 0. So finally what you will get, plus minus delta z equal to plus minus within bracket delta a plus delta b. So from here you are getting the maximum possible absolute error is delta z equal to delta a plus delta b. Otherwise you are getting the four values, that is plus delta a plus delta b plus delta a minus delta b minus delta a plus delta b minus delta a minus delta b. But the maximum possible error is delta z equal to delta a plus delta b. Thus, we can say that when the two physical quantities are added, the absolute error in the final result is the sum of the individual errors. We take an example. For example, two resistances, say R1 equal to 25 plus minus 0.5 ohm and R2 equal to 47 plus minus 0.6 ohm are connected in series, then calculate the resistance. So we know the formula of the resistances in series, that is R equal to R1 plus R2. So we have to calculate first R equal to R1 plus R2, and that is the value of measured value of R1, we take this 25 and this is delta R1. And similarly here the measured value of R2 is 47 and delta R2 is 0.6. So R equal to R1 plus R2, that is 25 plus 47, which comes to be 72 ohm. Similarly we find out delta R, which is equal to plus minus delta R1 plus delta R2, which comes plus minus 0.5 plus 0.6, that is plus minus 0.11 ohm. Then the final result that becomes R plus minus delta R equal to 72 plus minus 0.11 ohm. So this is about error of a sum, and after calculating the error and how we can write the final result, and that I explain by taking an example. Now the second one is error of a difference. Similarly, we have to take the two physical quantities, say A and B, have the measured values A plus minus delta A, B plus minus delta B respectively, where delta A and delta B are their absolute errors. So when we take the difference, then it comes to be Z equal to A minus B. Write this expression in terms of their absolute errors. So absolute error in the result is plus minus delta z. So z plus minus delta z equal to a plus minus delta a minus b plus minus delta b. Now open the right hand side bracket and simplify it. Then we will get a minus b plus minus delta a and then minus plus delta b. Now a minus b is z, so substitute this value. So z plus minus delta z equal to z plus minus delta a plus delta b. Since plus minus and minus plus are the same, and then you simplify this, what you will get, plus minus delta z equal to plus minus delta a plus delta b within bracket. Similar result you are getting as in case of the error of a sum. So here again the four possible values of the error are there, but the maximum possible error is delta z equal to delta a plus delta b. So in case of addition and subtraction, the absolute error in the final result is the sum of the absolute error in the individual quantities. Now you understand this like that by taking one example, and we also conclude that when the two physical quantities are subtracted, the absolute error in the final result is the sum of individual errors. Just like in case of when we are adding the two physical quantities. So that's why the rule that becomes when two physical quantities are added or subtracted, the absolute error in the final result is the sum of the absolute error in the individual quantities. For example, we take the temperature of two bodies measured by a thermometer are T1 equal to 20 degrees Celsius plus minus 0.5 degrees Celsius and T2 equal to 50 degrees Celsius plus minus 0.5 degrees Celsius. Calculate the temperature difference and the error therein. So what we have to do for the temperature difference? We subtract T1 from T2. So T equal to T2 minus T1, that is 50 minus measured value of T2 is 50 degrees Celsius and the measured value of the T1 is 20 degrees Celsius, and this one is absolute error, that is delta T1 zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius. Similarly, delta T2 is also 0.5 degrees Celsius. So T equal to T2 minus T1, that is 50 minus 20, which comes to be 30 degrees Celsius. And then you find out absolute error, delta T equal to plus minus within bracket delta T1 plus delta T2. So plus minus within bracket 0.5 plus 0.5, which comes to be plus minus 1 degree Celsius. So the final result which you get, T plus minus delta T equal to 30 degrees Celsius plus 1 degree Celsius, or you can also write like that, T plus minus delta T equal to 30 plus minus 1 within bracket degree Celsius. So this is the example of error of a difference. Now similarly we take error of a product. So in the same way, we are taking the two physical quantities A and B, have the measured values A plus minus delta A, B plus minus delta B respectively, where delta A and delta B are their absolute errors. So we say that when we take the product of these two physical quantities, the result is Z. So Z equal to A into B, that is product of A and B. Now write in terms of their measured values. So the error in the result comes to be plus minus delta Z. So Z plus minus delta Z equal to within bracket A plus minus delta A into within bracket B plus minus delta B. Open the bracket, we will get Z plus minus delta Z equal to AB plus minus A delta B plus minus B delta A plus minus delta A delta B. Now divide left hand side by Z and right hand side by AB. Then we have 1 plus minus delta Z upon Z equal to 1 plus minus delta B upon B. When you divide here by AB, then you are getting here 1 divided by AB, then A get cancelled, only the B is left. Similarly here B get cancelled, A is left. So expression that becomes 1 plus minus delta B upon B plus minus delta A upon A plus minus delta A upon delta B upon AB, or delta A upon A delta B upon B. Now simplify it, then 1 minus 1 becomes 0, and delta A upon A delta B upon B, the product is very small, so that's why it can be neglected. So that's why you will get plus minus delta Z upon Z equal to plus minus delta B upon B plus minus delta A upon A. Rearrange it, you will get plus minus delta Z upon Z equal to plus minus delta A upon A plus minus delta B upon B. Again you are getting the four possible value of random error, but the maximum possible random error in the result is delta z upon z equal to delta a upon a plus delta b upon b. So now the rule becomes when the two quantities are multiplied, the relative error in the final result is the sum of the relative errors of individual quantities. Now we take one example so that you can understand how we can apply the concept of this error of a product. So the length and the breadth of a field measured as L equal to 25 plus minus zero point 0.2 meter and B equal to 15 plus minus zero point 0.1 meter, then find the area of the field. Area of the field is the product of the length and breadth. So you find out it, that is A equal to L into B, and L is 25, B is 15, so it comes to be 375 meter square. Then find out the relative error, that is delta A upon A equal to plus minus within bracket delta L upon L plus delta B upon B, and delta L is zero point 0.2 meter and delta B is zero point 0.1 meter. So substitute these values, you will get delta A upon A equal to plus minus within bracket zero point 0.2 upon 25 plus zero point 0.1 upon 15. Solve it by taking the LCM. Then the expression becomes delta A upon A equal to plus minus within bracket 3 plus 2.5 upon 375, which comes to be delta A equal to AU cross multiply. So final expression that becomes delta A equal to plus minus zero point 0.5 upon 375 into A. A you have already calculated. Its value is 375. Substitute the value. So what you will get? Delta A equal to plus minus 5.5 upon 375 into 375. So this 375 is get cancelled. So finally you will get delta A equal to plus minus 5.5 meter square. So the final result you can write A plus minus delta A equal to 375 plus minus 5.5 meter square. So this is about error of a product, how you can calculate, and after that how you can write the final result. Similarly, we can also calculate the error of a division or the quotient. Same way, we consider the two physical quantities, say A and B, have measured values A plus minus delta A and B plus minus delta B respectively, where delta A and delta B are their absolute errors. For example, we say that the two physical quantities they are divided, then the result that comes Z. So Z equal to A upon B. So when we write their measured values, then it becomes Z plus minus delta Z equal to A plus minus delta A upon B plus minus delta B. Now we simplify it. So we take B common in the denominator. The result that becomes Z plus minus delta Z equal to A plus minus delta A upon B common within bracket 1 plus minus delta B upon B. Further we simplify it, then it comes Z plus minus delta Z equal to A plus minus delta A upon B. Now this 1 plus minus delta B upon B we bring from denominator to the numerator, so it comes 1 plus minus delta B upon B raised to the power minus 1. Now we expand it by using the binomial theorem and neglect the higher power of terms, because in the higher power of terms the square cubes are there, so delta B upon B itself is a small value. When we take its square, then it comes very small. we take q, then it comes very small. So that's why we neglect the higher power of terms. So by using the binomial theorem, then we can write the expression like that: z plus minus delta z within bracket a upon b, open the brackets, a upon b plus minus delta a upon b within bracket 1 minus plus delta b upon b, because according to the binomial theorem 1 plus nx equal to, that is 1 plus x raised to the power n equal to 1 plus nx, and the rest of the higher power of terms, they are neglected. So that's why 1 plus minus delta b upon b raised to power minus 1 can be written as 1 minus plus 1 into delta b upon b. So now we open the right hand side, simplify it. What we will get? Z plus minus delta z equal to a upon b. First you multiplied this a upon b to 1 plus minus delta b upon b, or 1 minus plus delta b upon b. So what you will get? A upon b plus minus a upon b into delta b upon b. Plus minus, then you multiply it by this factor. Delta a upon b plus minus delta a upon b into delta a upon b. But z equal to a upon b. So you substitute in place of this z. So expression that becomes z plus minus delta z equal to z plus minus, you can also write in place of this a upon b z, and z equal to a upon b plus minus delta b upon b plus minus delta a upon b into delta b upon b. Now divide both sides by z and simplify it, then we will get this, because when you multiply it by z here, so what you will get? This z, and here it is also z. So this z and this z get cancelled and you will get 1. And similarly here upon z, and this z and this z get cancelled, then you will get 1. Similarly, when you divide it by z here, then z is a upon b. So in that case, a get cancelled. So further you solve it, then what you will get? So when you are dividing here the z, so what you are getting? This z is a upon b, then b comes in the numerator, then b and b get cancelled. So what you will get? A get cancelled, then this a upon b is finally cancelled. So only you will get delta b upon b. Similarly here, when you divide by z, so divided by z means a upon b, that is a upon b. So what you will get? This b and b get cancelled. So finally you will get delta a upon a. And here this is again you divided by z. So what you will get? A upon b. So this b and b get cancelled. Similarly here a upon b. So this b and this b get cancelled. So here you will get delta a upon a, and this factor is very small, delta a delta b upon a square, so that we neglect it. So finally what you will get? Plus minus delta z upon z equal to plus minus delta b upon b plus minus delta a upon a. Again 4 possible values you are getting, and the maximum possible random error is delta z upon z equal to delta a upon a plus delta b upon b. So in both the cases, in error of product and error of division, the finally what you are getting, the relative error in the final result is the sum of the random errors of the individual quantities. So this is about error of a quotient or division. Now we take one example. For example, the resistance R equal to V upon I, where V equal to 100 plus minus 5 volt and I equal to 10 plus minus 0.2 ampere. Find the resistance. Then you find out the resistance by applying the formula, and that is R equal to V upon I, where V is 100 and I is 10. So it comes to be 100 upon 10, that is 10 ohm. Now delta V is 5 and delta I is zero point 0.2. So also you find out the relative error, delta R upon R equal to plus minus delta V upon V plus delta I upon I. Substitute the values, you will get delta R upon R equal to plus minus delta V is 5, V is 100 plus delta I is zero point 0.2, I is 10. Now you simplify by taking the LCM. So delta R upon R equal to plus minus 5 plus 2 upon 100, that is 7 upon 100, and R you take the cross multiplication. So delta R equal to plus minus 7 upon 100 into R. R you have already calculated, that is 10 ohm. Substitute the value, delta R equal to plus minus 7 upon 100 into 10. So you will get delta R equal to plus minus zero point 0.7 ohm. Then finally the result what we write, R plus minus delta R equal to 10 plus minus zero point 0.7 ohm. So this is about an example for error of division. Now error in case of a measured quantity raised to a power. So in that condition, suppose a physical quantity we take, capital A, has the measured value A plus minus delta A, where delta A is its absolute error. We say that let Z equal to A raised to the power K, where K is a constant, and then we can write Z equal to A into A up to K times. So now it is the product. So already you have studied in case of the product, the error in the result that comes is the sum of the random error of individual physical quantity. So that can be written as Z plus minus delta Z equal to A plus minus delta A into A plus minus delta A into A plus minus delta A up to the K times. So finally the error in the result that can be written as delta Z upon Z equal to delta A upon A plus delta A upon A plus delta A upon A up to the K times. So that we can write delta Z upon Z equal to plus minus K times delta A upon A. So this is the error in case of the measured quantity raised to a power. So if K is negative, then mod of K is taken because error due to multiple quantities get added up. Always you remember it. So the rule that becomes the relative error in a physical quantity raised to the power K is the K times the relative error of the individual quantity. So in general, if Z equal to A raised to power P into B raised to power Q upon C raised to the power R, then what we have to write, delta Z upon Z equal to P delta P upon P plus Q delta B upon B plus R delta C upon C. Here very carefully you note down C raised to the power is in the denominator, but the relative error is added up. So that's why it comes plus R delta C upon C. And also you have to study that in division case also we have to take the sum of random errors of individual quantities. The same concept we have applied here. For example, you take find the relative error in Z if Z equal to a raised to the power 4 b raised to the power 1 by 3 upon c d raised to power 3 by 2. If the percentage error in the measurement of a b c and d are 1%, 3%, 1% and 2% respectively, then you apply the same concept here. So delta z upon z equal to plus minus. From here this formula you have to apply. So here it becomes 4 delta A upon A plus 1 upon 3 delta B upon B plus delta C upon C plus 3 by 2 delta D upon D. And you multiply it on both the side by 100 so that you will get the percentage error. So delta Z upon Z into 100 equal to plus minus within bracket 4 delta A upon A into 100 plus 1 upon 3 delta B upon B into 100 plus delta C upon C into 100 plus 3 by 2 delta D upon D into 100. And the value of delta A upon A into 100 is given. Delta B upon B into 100 is given. Delta C upon C into 100 is given. Delta D upon D into 100 is given. So that is 1%, 3%, 1% and 2% respectively. Substitute these values. So delta Z upon Z into 100 equal to plus minus within bracket 4 into 1 plus 1 by 3 into 3 plus 1 plus 3 by 2 into 2. So from here this 3 and 3 get cancelled, this 2 and 2 get cancelled. So finally what you will get, delta Z upon Z into 100 equal to plus minus 4 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3. So that is delta Z upon Z into 100 equal to plus minus 9%. So this is the percentage error in the Z. So the concept which you learned that we have applied here. Now the next topic we take, which is significant figure. Normally the reported result of measurement is a number that includes all digits in the number that are known reliably plus first digit that is uncertain. The reliable digits plus the first uncertain digit are known as significant digit or significant figures. For example, we take period of oscillation of a simple pendulum is 1.52 seconds. So in this result 1 and 5 digit are reliable and certain while 2 is uncertain. Thus the measured value has the three significant figures, because we are saying the significant figure is the reliable digit plus first uncertain digit. So here 1 and 5 reliable digit and 2 is uncertain digit. So the total significant figures in this measured value are 3. Similarly, we take another example. Length of an object reported after measurement to be 184.5 centimeter has 4 significant figures. That is the digit 184. They are the reliable digits, whereas 5 is the uncertain digit. So that's why it has 4 significant figures. Now, a choice of the change of different units does not change the number of significant figures or figure or digit in a measurement. For example, we can write 1.205 centimeter, or that we can write 0.01205 meter, or we can write 12.05 millimeter, or we write 12050 micrometer. So millimeter is 10 is power minus 3, micro is 10 is power minus 6. So you see that digit having the, or the length having the 4 significant figure. Because if we change the unit, then the significant figures cannot be changed. Or it is better to write in the scientific notations. That is the digit multiplied by 10 raised to the power in that particular unit. Now, what are the rules for determining the significant figures? The first rule is that all the non-zero digits are significant. For example, suppose we take that 2308, or first we take for non-zero digits 3842. All are non-zero digits, so they have the 4 significant figure. All the zeros between the two non-zero digits are significant no matter where the decimal point is, if at all. For example, we say that 2.308 or 23.08. So 0 in between the two non-zero digits, and no matter where the decimal point is there. So that having the 4 significant figure. Now third rule is, if number is less than 1, the zeros on the right of decimal point but to the left of the first non-zero digit are not significant. So we take one example. What we are saying, if a number is less than 1, then 0 on right of decimal point left of first non-zero digit are not significant. You see that in this example, these two zeros, they are, first of all, this number is less than 1, and these two zeros are right to the decimal point and left to the first non-zero digit. So they are not significant. So that's why it has 4 significant figure. Now fourth rule is, terminal or trailing zeros in a number without a decimal point are not significant. For example, 123 meter, when you write in terms of centimeter, so it comes 12300 centimeter. Means it has 3 significant figure. Means you are converting meter into centimeter. So the value cannot be changed. That is 123 meter. So it has 3 significant figures. So that's why the trailing zeros cannot be the significant. Similarly, the fifth rule is, trailing zeros in a number with a decimal point are significant. For example, we take number is 3.500. It has 4 significant figure, because the trailing zeros, they are the in the decimal part. So if the decimal is there, then the trailing zeros are considered significant figure. Similarly, a number is less than 0, 0.06900. So number is less than 0. Here the two rules you have to apply. Third and fifth. Number is less than 1. So the 0 onto the right side of the decimal, left of the first non-zero digit are not significant. So this 0 is not significant. So that's why it has 4 significant figure. So both having the 4 significant figure. So you remember these rules for determining the significant figures. So if If we give us some practice questions, then you solve these practice questions by applying the concept which you learn. There are 4 practice questions, and these practice questions you solve, apply the concept what you learn in this video, so that you can understand that how much you learn. If you like my video, then like it, subscribe it, press the bell icon. Stay safe, stay healthy, learn physics with my YouTube channel by staying at home. Thank you and have a nice day.